Keanu Reeves is someone who travels by plane frequently due to his busy schedule. But this flight would turn into an unforgettable experience in his life. When he boarded the plane from Los Angeles to New York, an old man sitting next to him caught his attention. The man had deep lines on his face, and with a tired but wise expression, he turned to Keanu and smiled slightly. Keanu responded kindly and put on his headphones, wanting to focus on the journey. Shortly after the plane took off, the old man spoke quietly. "Young man, I feel like I know you from somewhere, but I can't place you." Keanu smiled slightly. "Maybe from the movies," he joked. The man thought, frowned and shook his head. No, it's not like that. I feel like we've met before." Sensing that the man might have an interesting story, Keanu took off his headphones and started talking. The old man shared that he had worked in different countries for many years, met many people, and the lessons life had taught him. Keanu was amazed by the man's narration. But the most interesting part of the conversation was when the man suddenly stopped talking and looked at Keanu with his eyes. He took a deep breath and said, "You know, years ago, I met a young man at a gas station. He didn't have much money in his pocket, but he had a book in his hand. He had to leave some things behind because the cash register was out of money. I helped him out then. He didn't want to take it at first, so he didn't want to hurt me. But he finally agreed. That young man can't be you, can he?" Keanu's eyes widened. His heart began to beat rapidly, because years ago, during one of the hardest times he had ever experienced while trying to get by in Hollywood, he had actually experienced something like this. At a gas station, he had only been able to buy a small snack and a book with the last of his pocket money. But that day, a stranger had helped him. Now, after all these years, the realization that he was sitting next to that man deeply affected Keanu. He was silent for a moment, then smiled and held out his hand. "That young man was me, and I have never forgotten the kindness you did for me." The old man blinked in surprise, then smiled. They both looked at each other in silence for a moment. Keanu took his wallet out of his pocket, pulled out a card, and handed it to the man. "This card is my personal number. You can reach me whenever you need me." They continued to chat throughout the flight. When the plane landed, the old man turned to Keanu and shook his hand, saying, "Life is really strange. You do a good deed, and years later, it comes back to you in a different way." Keanu smiled and winked. And sometimes, on a plane ride, it finds you. After this incident, Keanu continued to support the old man's family. He had never imagined that the small kindness he had done to him years ago would one day become so meaningful in his life.